Passing through the veil of mystery, seeking answers no one is brave to ask. This is Bound to Truth.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Chris Lopez from Bound to Truth. It is a beautiful Sunday, May the 3rd, which tomorrow is May the 4th. All those Star Wars fans, May the 4th be with you. Unless you're a Trekkie. I'm more of a Star Wars. I don't know. I really like both. Anyways, I digress. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday morning here. And this year is flying off. We're in the 5th month of the year. A lot's already happened and kicked off in 2026, as you all know, with a lot of things going on with the disclosure. Of course, wars, gas prices going up. It's a chaotic confusion, a lot of whiplash, like kind of looking at what's going on right now. My neck hurts from all the turning. I'm bringing back another popular guest that you've heard before a few times last year, Kathleen Tedder. I'm going to invite her on. She is wonderful. She's got some great insight, a great friend, as well as a friend to Gary White, who I'm grateful that he has introduced me to as well. So I'm going to add her on. What is up, Kathleen? How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. Yeah, good things, good things.
Good. Good. So how is your neck feeling with all the crazy stuff's happening in 2026? We got, with wars, disclosure, gas prices going up. I'm not sure what's going on in Florida over there, but how are you doing and your feeling? Because I know we got things we're going to talk about. We're going to try to keep it efficient, but kind of catch up what's going on with you before we begin to our discussion.
Okay, gas prices are horrible. Since I've been here 5 years now, this is the highest it's been. I forget, it was 480 at one point. It's down a little. Anyway, that's terrible because I have a big hog Jeep. So it's kind of, and as far as I'm doing well. I've been having so many experiences. I can't begin to tell you. I've had more experiences with telepathy and meeting new clans of Sasquatch when I take my little trips through the forest. And we had one of our pups had to go be put down, and my roommate's brother, his ghost, which has visited me a few times, he came to accept her little body, and I got it on a video with that SLS app where it shows whatever it shows, stick figures. But
oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have that on my phone too.
So I've had her brother here. She doesn't see him or really feel him, so he comes to me, and then I go tell her, and then so she put the app on her phone, and she's seeing it now too. So it's so I've had ghosts, and I've had that, and I've had all the usual crazy in my world.
This is why it's hard talking to you, because I want to go down so many different rabbit holes just on that conversation itself, but I'll stay focused. But that's cool. That's cool.
Well, I don't usually talk about ghosts too much. I mean, I have in the past, but that's not usually what everybody wants to hear about. So.
Yeah, and I have I have theories about so many different things I can go down a whole rabbit hole with. So it sounds like you've had, sorry about the pup being put down, and yes, the gas prices are high here. They're about right now $5.50. That's on the res. Other places $6 to $7. In California, I think it's $8 to $9. I'm trying to bust my Harley out, but I did a slight tear on my Achilles, so I've been minor tear, thank God. It's only that. Plus, I get in the bike, not modified, just getting it fixed up a little bit. There were some minor mechanical issues, but again, hauling it and getting out there. My friend John Hershey is going to help me get out next week. But anyways, digressing.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. We just had Leesburg Bike Fest here, and Daytona Bike Fest I think that was just a few weeks ago too. So I always enjoy. I love watching the gangs ride.
They are cool. I just stay out of their way. I'm the chivalrous guy, aka out of fear biker, saying, "Please pass, sir. Please pass through." I am just a mere bug on the road. You're good.
I used to wave at them, but now I'm afraid they'll wave back and have a wreck. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
So let's jump into it. I know there's some things you
Yes.
texted me, and we'll keep it efficient here. So, like I talked with Gary, and he's had his contacts and so forth. You guys you don't have to go about him. You know him a lot more than I do, but he shared a lot of his thoughts.
I think Gary and I have shared a spacecraft a time or two. I think we've been together and on the other side. I think we've been friends that long that
awesome.
I just have a feeling we have a connection there.
No, and that's
he
awesome.
Probably does too. Yeah.
You both are wonderful people. Very, very special. One thing I want to jump into it like I did with Gary, because this is the big thing now. First, people were ridiculed for believing in UFOs and aliens and all this stuff, X-Files type of thing. Now, as we talked before, UFOs, aliens, UFOs, ETs, NHI. Now the year is disclosure. We had a movie that came out, Age of Disclosure, back in 2012 last year with Dan Farah, which coincidentally worked with Steven Spielberg on Ready Player One, who was having a movie coming out called Disclosure Day on June 12th. Right?
I can't wait. I want to see that.
and then you have the government, the White House, Trump talking about we're going to release all the information. So we'll start with this. With all that being said, what's your feelings about it? What's your like concerns? Thoughts, like good or bad? Yeah, with all this.
Well, I'm also a member of the Citizens for Disclosure group. Danny Sheehan and Melanie Barton Bragg and forget David's. Excuse me, David.
Why do I know that name, Danny Sheehan? Why is that familiar?
He is. He's an attorney. He has white hair, curly hair. He's a bigger guy. He is the best. He has done so much. He should have the Peace Award or something. He has done so much, not just for disclosure, but for Native Americans, and it goes on and on. I mean, the man's a saint.
I love his hair. Now I know who he is. Yeah, and he still has glasses. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
He's kind of running the show, and I'm just a member, and I follow along. I don't get in on the Zooms like I should. Hopefully, I will be able to, but we will definitely have disclosure, absolutely, but it will not necessarily come over the TV tubes. I believe, to be honest, that there could possibly be a day where a lot of our guides, people like Gary and I that have ET friends and guides, family or whatever, I wouldn't doubt for a minute that they won't just fly over our homes and bring us out as disclosure. All of the ones that have been there and have done that, and we're open, we're more open, we communicate, we get telepathy, a lot of us do, from our experiences. So I believe that it's going to be Citizens for Disclosure actually that's going to be bringing it out. I think the government's just playing games. And yes, the Spielberg movie, I think, is going to be 100% an eye-opener for many people. So there's that. So yes, it's happening. It is happening right now. I mean, I can't go a day without, if I ask them, I'll see a ship. You know what I mean? It's like
totally
anytime now.
The activity has been rising really, really high across the globe. And of course, the unfortunate thing I would say is trusting our eyes when it comes to videos with a lot of the AI enhancements and so forth. It's pretty scary. Like, for example, the person who was trying to shoot up the dinner at the White House, they did an AI. They took the footage and enhanced an AI to make it cleaner instead of grainier, and it was convincing. But there's certain things you compare it to the original film is not accurate. So it's almost like it's almost like AI is like the new Project Bluebeam.
Well, they're using Bluebeam as well. They're using that. A lot of things we're seeing in the sky are just hallucinations from their machines.
So let me ask you this:
hologram.
You're excited about Spielberg coming up with this movie,
yes?
Yet we're not trusting the government about how they will disclose it. So, I mean, how did Spielberg get approval to do this? I personally would think you were, and again, this is just my mind. I'm not saying I'm right, by the way. Like, my thing is like, okay, you got the age disclosure, then you got the disclosure day, and then it's like, and then you got the rumor of Trump announcing about the existence and like a speech, like supposedly July 8th, the anniversary of Roswell. So to me, it's like, wouldn't they be kind of working together in a way? And and if so, is that, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? If that makes any sense, and I'll kind of add some more to that.
I think that is that Trump is trying. I think he's trying to get it together, but he can only do what he can do according to his overseers, and he has overseers. I believe mostly military, maybe all military.
Is your talk about overseas just being military, not anything?
Well, he is in contact with ETs. Yes, the real Trump. I don't know which one plays the roles. There's, the real Trump's very tall, and when you see the fake one, he's 6 foot, barely.
Okay.
He's the same height as all the other ones, and the face isn't right. So, I do believe the real Trump's doing the actual work, and the other ones are playing the movie roles.
So what's your thoughts about? I'm sure you follow this very closely. The two big fans I'm a fan of the people in Congress personally is Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina Luna. They seem like they are, besides the other Congress people get. I mean, and I think the other guy, Eric something, I forgot his name, but he wasn't a believer. Now he's like, there's something. But what do you think about them, their efforts? Because even both Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina are saying the things that Tim Burchett says the stuff he saw and read into would shake the foundation and have us have more questions and just be angry about what's been hidden from us. Can you read a bit of that what he's talking about, you think? Or you think he's totally off base on that?
Tim Burchett is a hero in my opinion, and I think he would give us nothing but truth. And so I 100%, anything he has to say, I'm quite sure is the truth. I think some of these, like that shooting, I think these silly little things that they're doing are just trying to get our attention away from something else. Put off the Epstein files, put off the UFO, put off whatever, the QSF or, all those things that we hear about. Personally, I think those are just things to pull us away from what's really important. And but I do believe that experiencers and spiritual ones and open, the ones touched, the ones chosen, the ones that are ready, I do believe they'll be the ones that'll be total disclosure. It'll come out through, your podcast, through Facebook, through whatever. And
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, anyway, I don't really follow politics very much. I don't watch TV at all. I just watch a few YouTube videos, a lot, but too many probably. But I really don't. I hear it word of mouth more than anything. Oh, there was a shooting,
Yeah. No, honestly, it's probably a good thing too, because sometimes I get too caught up in like I need my fix for the day kind of shock value. And it's funny when I took a break on the podcast, I really wanted to rethink about doing it because I don't want it to be where it's shock value and sensationalism. I want it to be an open conversation, like use the brains that God gave us to have a communication, slow things down, talk, think, be independent, right?
Right.
So when Burchett said, you know what, I know you don't watch live, but he said that things that he was read into would shock the nation, like it would shake them, and it would upset people and have questions for the government. Like I would think, like maybe why? What do you think he's talking about? What do you think? What do you think would shock? Would it be good, bad, or just away?
What I think would shock people is how many years that our government's been working with ET and what they allowed them to do to us back in the beginning.
So when you say allow, is that good, bad, or is there ones that are benevolent, other ones?
Well, it's something that we put in for before we came to this life. So it's not bad in that sense. But what is bad is taking some of our people off planet. What's happening with children, those kind of things. they've been going on since like the 30s, if not before then, and
You're talking about the ETs. You're talking about
yeah, ETs, the bases underground, just how they're working with our government, how they were pretty much in control of our government for quite a while. I don't believe they still are in any way, but I do. I know for a fact, or I feel 100% that the military and Trump and the big teams, the big cheeses. I believe they're all working with the tall whites, the Nordics.
But so I want to go back here and make sure I understand. So when you say to get like taking children and everything like that, you're talking about ETs, but this is not all. Are these the good ones, or you said we already made a choice, or was already like? Can you elaborate a little bit more? Because I have like Dr. Greer talking about it's not ETs, it's humans pretend to be ETs because of the technology, and all of them are good. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
I personally have not met a bad ET. I have not. I have met a reptilian. I have not met a bad ET. Okay. There are programs that are going on that are taking children, messing with the DNA, and they're taking them off planet. And they're trying to do things that, in my opinion, are horrible.
Who are these ones? Can you elaborate?
I can't say that it's like one. There's several. There's 2 or 3 groups that are trying to hybridize in with humanity for their best interest, and they think for our best interest. And in some ways, that's true. They will be giving us a lot of spiritual knowledge and a lot of things, and we'll operate a lot better. I mean, they truly are trying to help us physically as well. You've heard of a lot of healings, I'm sure.
Right. So, there's a person, Matt, again, you don't watch a lot of YouTube, which is great. Like there's a former congressman, just to add to that regarding the hybridization, Matt Gaetz, who was a former congressman, came out and talked about, he was read into by a bunch of people saying that there has been breeding in between humans. How does that look? I have no idea, because if you're off planet, I'm not sure how that works.
That's what I'm referring to.
But he was talking about that. He kind of laughed it off, not because he thought it was silly. He thought this is nuts. He's like, we're trying to hybridize ourselves. Either they are with us or we are with them if we're capturing these beings, So I'm echoing what's been read in the report. Yeah. Which again, crazy 20 years ago. We've been called nuts, and now it's like this is a whole thing.
Yeah. And this has been going on since William Tompkins said like the late 20s, early 30s. That our government has actually been involved in it, or military, the ones that do follow the government. Anyway, things like that. It's meant to be for the better of them and us. So it's not like such a monstrous thing, but there has been a lot of abuse, as you know, among these people. And just taking someone's child and taking them off planet, to me, is what stop.
Right.
If you want DNA, that's one thing, but to take the whole child or the person, missing people, things like that, that's not acceptable. Not without, in my opinion, some kind of control and permission, that the individual should have a say. But so that will be brought out. I know it's going to get pretty ugly, because there is some ugly that has to come out. Like Tim says, it has to come out in order for full discovery. And
do you think when this happens that do you think this will be a change in humanity right away? In a way, when I'm saying I'm talking about what you think it'll shake humanity in a way where there is a complete wake up of like, we are not alone? Or do you think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like it's just another day in the office? Do you think that maybe we have been so desensitized? Not, I wouldn't say us in a way, but people who don't read or go about their day. Do you think it might be like, oh, okay, cool?
I believe, Chris, the good things that's being done undercover, maybe we can just say through Trump, just, to me, it's not just a person, it's a consciousness, the Trump consciousness kind of thing. But I do believe there's a lot of good things that are going to come out with that. So it won't be so horrible. It won't be so hard to grasp. I believe this is where the two earths are separating, as Native Americans have talked of this, as a lot of spiritual ones have talked about it. I think when this is said and done, or right in the heart of it, or the big, the big awakening thing, it's
Right.
going to split. It's going to split our earth, our people. Some can accept it and some can't, and that's kind of what's going to be happening. And many will wake up, though,
I know
which
the
is a
Catholic.
blessing.
I know the Catholic Church has been prepared for at least 5 to 10 years on this subject. Before Pope Francis has passed away, he talked about preparation. He said that, hey, if we find an intelligent species, we'll welcome as brothers in Christ. Which that's
Right.
a good political move. Power move. I get it, right? I'm raised Catholic. I get it. We're always 3 steps ahead, 5 steps ahead. Good or bad. But
Both.
yeah, I know. Yeah, right. Well, like my grandma said, there's good people in the church and there's bad people in the church. It's about your heart.
Correct. Yes.
And I love her to death, and she passed years ago. But anyways, I digress. But one of the things is like, I'm curious about, and it was looking at the clips at Disclosure Day trailers, it shows like a nun and everything holding a cross. So I'm curious how it's going to touch on the religious aspect. Do you think, in a way, it's almost like this whole phenomenon is kind of becoming, and I'm saying this, a new religion now. You know what I mean? And maybe to you, you're saying this has never been a new religion. It's always has been. But for
Right.
others, that may be like, this is new to me type of thing. So do you think it's not just a conscious awakening? Do you think it might be a spiritual awakening, an awareness that we've never experienced before?
Definitely. And like I said, some people can accept it and will accept it, and some people aren't meant to. They haven't incarnated enough, maybe, or something. You know what I mean? There's some people that just can't get it no matter what. It's not a bad thing. Maybe they're just young in their evolution, but the majority will be getting it, and it'll be a wonderful thing. And like I said, I do believe there's a lot of surprises. Well, we know, we've all heard of the med beds, and we've all heard of all these little, individual little flying crafts that we'll have instead of cars. And, we've heard of all these things on the conspiracy side, but actually, a lot of them are true, So we'll be getting a lot of other disclosure that will be good for us as well.
Well, and you bring up a point here too. Like you said, flying cars, it's all free energy, right? Which actually has been existing for quite some time. There's about 2 or 3 people who were killed.
Right.
Tesla's one of them. Well, Tesla was silenced, but there's other people where, like, example, we got the war going on Iran, right? Yes. Part of it's about nuclear, uranium, all this stuff, holy war. They've been fighting for thousands of years, right? And we're involved.
It was predicted in the Bible. It was predicted.
Well, Chris Bledsoe supposedly predicted this back in 2012. By the way, side note, I'm still working on Chris Bledsoe episode because that's a long one. Because I'm trying to.
I want to hear that.
Yeah,
I love Chris.
It's a long. Well, what I'm trying to do is, I'm not trying to debunk anything. I'm not trying to do that. But there's some similarities when he talks about the Divine Lady, and I think about the Virgin Mary, and I think about Jake Biber having this Divine Lady presence. I'm like, okay, I got to really dive deep because I can't rush this episode. I'm actually using notes from the show called The Y Files. Shout out to The Y Files. I love The Y Files. Are amazing.
Oh, I like that too. I watched that.
AJ is amazing. He does such a great job of being so unbiased. He did a great interview. So thank you, AJ, for letting me just putting it out there. And I'm using your episode as a reference for that. You did a great job. Anyways, so so going back to the whole war thing. So it's like, well, oil, gas, that is our currency. People don't know that. It's not just the dollar. It's our currency. One of the things that people understand is that, let's say we had all the refineries in the world here to refine our oil and everything. Would that drop our gas prices down? Not really, because we're all interwoven. And the thing is how this would stop wars if we had this 0 point free energy. Would it hurt the society and system, the financial world? I think for a small point, I'll probably go hit it hard, but for the greater good, the picture of adjustment in the financial world, it'll be amazing. Things will be cheaper, a lot cheaper. Food, fertilizer, all that stuff that keeps us going. But then my concern is that we won't get that because it's all about control from the government. It's all about. But what's your thought? Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm just like we're going. I'm trying to connect the two in a way.
I think they're trickling this stuff in, and they are overriding that. I think you there will be a few years of struggling, with certain things. There will be, but in the long run, I think it's it's going to work out. I mean, and if in fact Nasara Jasara does happen, if and when, then we'll have a chance for the first time in 200 and something years, maybe 2,000 years, of having some freedoms and living as the natural human should, and
amen.
We won't be slaves. We won't have to work 40 hours. We won't have to pay taxes on what we've bought, our homes and,
Oh, it's insane. It's almost like I own my home, but even if I own it full right, I still got to pay taxes for it.
Yes, and then if you slip up one time, they take it.
and then they put a tax lien on my property. God, right. I hate being in finance. Sometimes I tell people, and I do love it because it makes me smart. It makes me be smart about things and so forth. I don't usually talk about my job too much, nor what I do. But it does. I'll tell you this: it does make me adjust a few things, on what I do. But I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. So. Okay. I talked about going back into the entities. We can call them aliens. We can call them whatever we want because whatever. But Anna Paulina Luna did an episode with Joe Rogan where she talked about like read the Book of Enoch. Are you familiar with the Book of Enoch?
Oh yes.
Okay, so she says it's almost like you need to read the Book of Enoch to really grasp what's going on. Me knowing the Book of Enoch, not too overly too well, which I'm starting to reread. But you talk about the fallen angels, you talk about the Nephilim, right? That, the sons of God with the daughters of men, all this type of stuff. So what's your thoughts on that mindset when she kind of compared that to what we're experiencing? Reminds like you need to read the Book of Enoch. What's your thoughts?
People really should read all the books, all the books taken out, because it all
the Gnosticism, the
necessary, but Enoch definitely. For one thing, I feel that the Anunnaki have been here all along. They haven't left. They've been on the other side of the ice wall, along with who knows which.
So you believe there's something on the other side of the ice wall? Not
absolutely.
I'm not talking about the flat Earth theory, but the whole thing.
Oh, me either.
Yeah, but there's continents around our planet that are bigger than what we have.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I do believe that, and it's filled with these other entities, and they have cities there. I mean, they have they've been living there all along. They never really left. Maybe some left, but they've been overseeing us, kind of in a way, and I think that's going to be part of the disclosure is going to be. It's going to have to come out. People are getting over there and taking peeks all over the place at what's going on over there. And as far as Iran goes, and this particular war, I've known for a long time there's a portal there. And
I've heard in the Middle East.
And there's a space ark down under the ground, miles long. I hear, that is still operational. There's something like. I'm not sure how many. I think I heard 20 or 26 space arcs that are slowly being discovered around the world.
And who knows if that's the real reason? Because the Middle East, I mean, you think about it, the Sumerians are from that region, whole region area, and you look at the movie Stargate. That's a real thing. People don't know. Exactly. That's a real movies. People understand that there's hints about things in movies that people say. Even Avengers. People don't like the Marvel movies about multi-dimensional, and it's almost like it's conditioning you to accept this as a norm. That's my whole thing with
right. It subconsciously helps these younger ones growing up to just get used to this kind of stuff, and they're pretty smart kids too.
yeah. Here's the other side of the. Here's the other side of the coin. There's another podcast that I like called The Confessionals. Mm-hmm. With Tony Merkel. He's amazing. I love him a lot. I don't know him. He was one of the ones I first listened to. He's a smart guy. However, there is something that is a big belief. He's a huge Christian, and again, I'm a Christian. I'm not the best Christian in the world type of thing, but I try to keep open-minded about a lot of things and try to decipher as much, or like discern as much as possible. But one of the big beliefs is they believe, not just him, just other people. This is not knocking anybody. This is just perception, in which it is what it is. That these are demons. That these are the demons from their side. That the veil is getting so thin because of so much fear and debauchery, like the days of Sodom, type of thing. What's your thought? What's your kind of feelings on that? Like, people are saying, well, these could be just demonic. They're not for our benefit. It's a trick. It's a whole thing. What's your thoughts on that? Have you heard that before?
I have heard that. Seems like every Southern Baptist and every, I won't name the churches, but yeah, they all think that. The religion I was in for many years also believed that, which is why I had to get out of it. It didn't fit with what was going on in my life. As far as abductions, I couldn't talk to anybody about things like that. I mean, no way, a lot of things, my gifts, psychicness. Oh, good Lord, that's not me. That's a demon in me, So yeah, I think a lot of people are going to have to really wake up and come out of that. But no, they're not demons. They're not. In the Bible, I forget which scripture, but that does say that our good Lord created not just man, but all beings.
Oh, the heavens and the earth. Yeah.
So there are archonic, there are entities that don't have bodies that do try to attach to people, and some are not so good, which would be like a demon. But that is not ET. Let me just say that's not ET. That's
I'm following what exactly you're saying. It's almost like saying L. Ron Hubbard was right because Scientology. Again, I'm not against Scientology, people. God bless you. Do your thing. Just I'm cool. We're cool. We're cool.
They're lower dimensional beings that they do attach to us, and sometimes we bring it on ourselves by our bad habits and certain things.
Which we would call in the biblical sense, where it's like, well, you give territory to these entities, the demons, to possess or do whatever. Now, this is another interesting point, is because that we call that spiritual. For me, I look at things, and again, I'm not saying I'm right, is that how, even though we're in this body, it's a vessel, but that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, and then we move on to another dimension per se, or another veil, right? I feel like that veil is kind of thinning in a way, which is kind of like, whoa, this is crazy. But what's your thoughts on that? Because it's almost like what we call possession or spiritual. It's like maybe it's just a crossover to another side of it. It's like me walking out the door.
It's another dimension. Yeah, it's another dimension. It's right with us. Believe it or not, it's right here, right now. I can't see it unless I had those glasses that they had in Vietnam with the
the ones they got rid of because they're shooting things
red
like
ones. Yeah, the red. Yeah, but people. Not just me, people like me who have the gift, we feel them. We don't need to see them. We know when there's something good or bad around us. And probably everybody could learn to do that if.
Well, and that's been my approach to like the paranormal investigating that I've been doing. I haven't done it in a while with the guys. We're gonna do more this year, because the weather is better. But my approach has been different now. It's like, I won't forget when I started this podcast, people were like, what does aliens, Bigfoot, and paranormal have to do with each other? I'm like, either nothing or everything. And I'm more to the everything.
Yeah.
Really am.
It is. It is.
I really am.
Yes.
And like Bigfoot, like Randy, who that I mentioned, I'm still working on his documentary. He talked about how the Bigfoot has done a mind speak to them, or telepathy. Right. We talked about this, that they are interdimensional. They do not belong here. We don't care to be proven, all this stuff, but they're interdimensional. And that's the big thing, that they're interdimensional. They're not from our plane, technically. I don't know. So, but,
from what I understand, from what the clans are telling me, some go interdimensional and some can't. Some are more animal. Some are more earthbound.
Well, I won't forget you talking about the experiments the government has done with Bigfoot, and
right.
The ones that are really violent are the ones because of a bad experiment. Look, I mean, you hear the stories about Dogman, and by the way, the Minnesota, Randy talked about. I was talking. We were at breakfast one time. Nicest people in the world, those Minnesotans. I love you guys. You guys are
I
wonderful.
have
I want to
family up
move.
there too.
I want to move there so freaking bad. But one guy talked. This one guy's like, "Oh yeah, we have some dogman experiences," and this is his neighbor, acres away, but it's his neighbor, and he's like, "Yeah, and it's like a normal conversation." So it's like, holy, like, anyways, again, could be failed government experiments. We look at the Egyptians with the Sphinx head. It's like, we look at Greeks about the
Yes.
Minotaurs. Like, what,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. From what I understand, there is a base on the east side of America. I don't remember what's the base name or what state it's in, but they
I've heard of Alabama. I've heard about Alabama.
I can't remember. I just can't remember. I read it a couple years ago, but there is a base that has top secret stuff, and they have experiments going on, and they were trying very hard to make Anubis into soldiers and Bigfoot into soldiers, super soldiers, to fight here and off planet.
That's the dogman.
And
okay, sorry.
And the ones that a few escaped, but then they turned some loose. They're marked, they've got the chips in them, so that if people start disappearing, something ugly happens, then this special group will pop in and take them out.
Gotcha.
They'll know right where they are. So they were turned loose sort of as an experiment to see how it would go, some of them. And that's why sometimes you see somebody that will say, well, I saw Bigfoot and it turned and left, or I saw Dogman and it just turned and left. No, Dogman would want to eat you a lot more so than Bigfoot. But those are some that, like I said, they've been turned loose and they're being studied. The government's got a chip in them, can see everything they do.
Well, why would the government do that? If we're gonna have disclosure and all this stuff coming out, why these hybrids? Why? I mean, I'm not talking about the ET aliens and so forth.
They've all
these. Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but when they found Gilgamesh's tomb, they've been taking DNA from that. He was in stasis, and they're taking blood and trying to build giants out of humans with that blood. I mean, they're doing all kinds of stuff. Why? Why? We already have Anunnaki that are big. It's going to kill all of us little humans looking up at them and talking to them because they're so tall. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't understand why they're doing that and bringing that back. I don't understand why, but there is a place they did do it. And the Dogman have been seen. There's been one seen in Florida not too long ago.
Oh, a Dogman, or
yes, Dogman. And I don't really want to see one. I'm okay with Sasquatch and telepathy, but I'm not sure about the Dogman yet.
No, I'm the only closest Dogman you're going to see. I look like a Portuguese water dog, and if you pull one up, he's the curly hair and black. It's like, yeah. I swear that when I deal with some clients that their dogs come in, I think the dog thinks I'm a dog. Or a Muppet. I don't know. One thing I want to go over is you're talking about, looking at the message here, from what's going on. A guy's told me, invited the Council of Eight. Can you elaborate about that a bit? What was going on with the Council?
I can.
Yeah.
I can. Kathleen Martin, Betty and Barney Hill's niece, has written several books, as you know, and most people know her many years with the UFO investigations and stuff. Anyway, she wrote a book called Forbidden Knowledge, and in the book she documents where she and Kevin Briggs and Melanie Barton Bragg, Dr. Melanie Barton Bragg, and Denise Stone all got together I don't remember if it was once a week or once a month, but they channeled these beings, and Kevin was the channeler. And he has been in contact with some of these beings since he was a little boy. So he's known of these beings all his life. They've guided him. They taught him how to leave his body and fly around and do, they've taught him things all his life.
Astral projection, would you call it?
Okay. Yes. And they taught him when he was very young. So, he's very interesting. He's a dear friend of mine. I babysit his dogs once in a while. Anyway, they wrote.
I'm so jealous of your life. Go ahead.
They channeled until they got what the reasoning behind the channeling was all about. at first Kevin didn't even know he was channeling. It took the three ladies to go, something's going on different here, you know, and then things in the room would be different. The temperature would rise. Kevin, just different things. The voices changed. Anyway, eventually they came up with the fact that there's a council of 8 that Kevin channels. And one might be a little gray, and one might be a bigger gray, and then there might be a mantis being, and there's one named Ra that has never had a body. He's a beautiful blue being, because he's letting me have a couple of pictures of him. There's 8 different beings, and they all do different things. Like one might be a scientist, one might be a healer, one, you know, different things, and they're all here to help us and help us with disclosure, actually. And Kathleen, bless her heart, in her book she drew pictures of each of them so people can understand their names and what they look like and pretty much what they do on their planet. And they've been working together for many years now. And I was blessed to get into a spiritual group with Kathleen and Kevin. And through them, I asked Kevin if I could meet them. And one by one, I've met all 8 of the Council of 8 now.
Wow.
And not long ago, last month, maybe, I think it was last month, there was a big CE5 up in Gainesville. And they all got together. About 25 people got together. I couldn't go, but the Council of 8 themselves requested that I come in and be on the Zoom. I was so surprised. I mean,
what was that like for you?
I mean, I was like angels saying, can you sit in on a Zoom because we know you can't get here? I mean, you know, that's the way I felt. It was such a blessing. And while he was channeling, I got a couple of messages from 2 of the 8.
Okay.
And,
well, you got some. What was it? If you feel comfortable, any of those messages you'd like to share per se, or is it kind of to the chest?
Well, you know what? I need to go back and listen to the recording again, because I you know, there was a lot of action going on, and I don't really remember the whole thing. I was welcomed, but Ra himself said to me, you're one, you know, we've let you get pictures. You're the one that we let get pictures. You're the one that knows when we're around. And so telepathically, he's kind of the one that invited me the most. And the other one that wanted me to be there was Ort, and he looks very human, and he's got a wife. Her name is Dee, and they're part of the council. And so I'm not sure, you know, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch.
No worries. And again, that was just more of like, just like, if you want to share, there's no pressure on top of that.
It was just mainly they were giving me some encouragement because, you know, I haven't been able to get to CE5s for a while. I've been feeling a little left out and just living with the Sasquatch beings and their telepathy and missing out on the ET part.
Kind of 40 days in the desert kind of feeling like.
Kind of, yeah. So, and it has kind of been that way for a little bit. And so I think they were encouraging me that I'm on the right path, and they're open to me. And, you know, we're a team now, and I'm just the earth person that can relay what's going to be happening. And they absolutely said it's going to be happening.
So here's my question to you: why humanity? If the universe is so vast, and I'm speaking from a human sense, like as a person who, and again, when I say down to earth, I mean in that sense, just because I'm looking at what's in front of me here. Why humanity? You know, there's so many. I'm assuming there's so many vast of the planets that are not as developed like us, or maybe where we're at. Maybe they're doing the same thing for them. I'm not too sure. But if I was like Captain Kirk on Star Trek, like, this species is destructive as hell. They're cooked. Why? You know what I mean? But again, that's the down to earth mind. But why us?
They're helping us. The good guys are helping us because we were deceived. We were abused. We've been abused and lied to and mistreated for many years, as well as
in what way?
Our life has been cut short. So they're really trying their best to help us get back to a place where we can be free, live longer, because our bodies do have the healing powers. It's just that they tweaked with the DNA to make slaves, and it worked for a while, but that's over.
You talk about the Anunnaki type of thing, Sumerian thing.
They say that, well, the Anunnaki had something to do with it, but there was more than them. It wasn't just them. So they can't take all the blame. I mean, it was.
Oh no, yeah, that's the story you read, right?
Yeah, and then mentally, and then we got the reptilian consciousness, which is a dark consciousness that's been over our heads for thousands of years. Not that all reptilians are bad. Like I said, there's good and there's bad. I've met two, but I met one that I kind of liked. I thought, my goodness, how interesting. I want to talk more, but maybe I don't. I don't know. Seeing one at a time instead of seeing a whole group of them might be a different thing.
It's almost like that. Well, you look at that show back in the 80s and they revamped it in the early 2000s, that show V.
Yes.
Show, right?
Yes.
And you hear about the reptilians and like, God, again, back to the whole Hollywood thing. It's like there's just kernels of truth being planted everywhere, kind of like it's comfortable. What was I going to say here? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought here. So yes, going back to the what makes us like so special. They want to evolve. So what does that look like in a way? If live longer so far, eventually we're going to pass. So I know we talked a little bit earlier about how the soul and everything. Have they talked about what happens to the soul?
Well, the soul is forever. It's forever.
Where do
God.
We go? Yeah.
Making it short and sweet, it is God. It is a part of the God energy. We are a part, so we can't take a piece of God out. We can't kill a piece, because it just isn't. It is forever. It is eternal, and we each have that. That's one thing that a lot of the ETs are trying to do. They want to understand souls. They want to learn how to create a soul, but they haven't been able to. And that's why a lot of people, they have a clone body, and somebody might get abducted and they say, oh, they pulled my spirit out and stuck me in another body. Or, they can work with the spirit, but they cannot create a soul. They can't do it.
Are you saying they have no soul? Is that what you're saying?
They have a soul. They do. Many have a soul. I don't know about all, because some are robotic. Some are a little, man-made or ET made or whatever. But we humans because we were made in his image, we were given a part of him, and we have the souls that he created when we were invented or created, or however you want to say it. That's all there is. There are no more. New souls develop and grow and mature and such. But as far as the original souls that we are, we're here forever. We're a part of God. We just go and we re-energize, and then we start doing something different.
So let me let's go a little deeper about that, if you don't mind, Kathleen. Is so the things I've heard about. So this is funny. There's this movie, again, go back to Hollywood. There's this movie I've not seen. It's called Dark City. So we Kiefer Sutherland, another actor. I really encourage you to watch that. It's basically about people, aliens. Again, these are bad. These are the bad ones. These bad aliens who are trying to discover the soul, and so they reset people's minds each day. But it's on a spaceship, and it's like that. It's like 1940s, 1950s, but they're trying to figure out the soul, that because they supposedly don't have one. Watch that movie. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that one. The other thing I heard about too is Bob Lazar, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, talks about a document. Besides his experience in Area 51 and his work on there, talked about there's this document this thick talking about religion, and how that it was supposedly he thought it was so far out that it was created to protect our containers. And he's like, I'm not sure what that means. Containers of what? Containers of the soul. He's like, I'm not too sure what that is. Because there's other things I've heard about the nefarious reasons. Again, I'm not saying true, just bring this up. Is that supposedly that these entities that our souls are recycled, like we're fuel for something, for something bigger. And that all the fear and tragedy and trauma enhances the substance of our soul, and then we get recycled back in, mindset wiped clean and recycled back, like the Matrix.
Right.
We're like a battery. Our souls are like a battery, so we get recycled in. But the only way we can break out is if we're aware and we're aware and awake of what's going around us. What's your thoughts on that regarding supposedly nefarious means? Is that maybe we're just fuel? Our souls are fuel for something. Like, I mean, what's your thoughts? Have you ever heard of that before?
I don't think our souls are. I think our physical bodies have been certainly
Okay. Right.
into that. Our souls are pretty much in college here on Earth. We're going through lessons that we can't get anywhere in the universe beyond here. And there are some planets that are worse off and watching us and hoping and learning from us how we get through this so that they can get through this. So we're sort of being watched by, the higher ups as well as the ones beneath that are going through the same type of struggles. Like I said, they have not. There was only so many supposed souls created at the Big Bang, or however that worked, and they have an interest in us. They don't understand how we can hop in from one body to the next. I mean, they don't understand, and they're trying really hard to grasp or capture or learn how to create souls, but they can't, and they won't. There's only so many, and we're here, and we have them, and whether we're in this body or a dog's body or whatever we might be in next, it's still us. And I do believe too that it won't be too many more years before they'll take down the grid that keeps us in our lower consciousness. You know what I mean? The frequency grid that is enveloping us all around the world. I think we're going to fix that.
Who created that grid, or why was that placed in the first place?
Supposedly thousands of years ago it began with probably the reptilians, most likely. And maybe the Anunnaki and the reptilians together. I mean, at one point, if you do look at the Egyptians, there's Sobek. He was the alligator-faced man, right?
Oh yeah,
right. So we don't know. It goes way, way back, and there's they kind of ruled the world for a long, long time before humans. So they I don't know about which ones. I don't know if there's lots of different ones. I'm not familiar with.
I know it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, but
we don't know. It's again, this is more of just open conversation.
Right.
It's funny with the pyramids. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I was just going to say to them, we were just something to be used. We didn't have a purpose and we didn't have meaning, but most of them have been run off the planet through either the galactics or different groups have helped mankind. Now that, like I said, we're going. Thank God, we're going into better places in the near future. And
it just feels like it's like kind of a war, like a war beyond our comprehension. Where
it is. It's
like
spiritual war.
Yeah, like Paul talks about, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against something, darkness and principalities that we just can't see at the moment.
Right.
And it's funny, go back to the pyramid. Now there's a theory that the pyramid itself is not a pyramid, it's an obelisk, that it's a lot bigger than what it is.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than what it is. No, and it's with the soul, like my thing is, is like I go back and like, what's my purpose? Like I said, I'm still a believer in Christ. I'm still a believer in God. But I've always been inquisitive. I've been inquisitive since I was a kid, since I was 7. I wrote poems and everything. I was a kid who actually, I won't forget this. I was 9 years old. Scholastic things you could pick in school, what book you want to get. Everybody's getting all these like colorful comics or whatever. I'm getting the UFO book at 9 years old. At 9 years old. And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why all my life I've always been interested into it, but I've always have been. Maybe it's an escape from things as a kid that were crappy. Maybe.
No, I think you have memories. I think you have memories that are working their way through. I think you probably have always been interested because deep within you remember maybe a past life, maybe maybe all of them. We all have it in our DNA. It's turned off for us. Maybe at some point we can get it turned back on, and we can remember why and what we did. And
Yeah. Well, I hope that if it gets turned back on, it'd be great to remember. I don't want to lose my mind. I enjoy having what I have and my experiences here, and my wife and all that. And so that's I guess is like, I want to know so much about the whole purpose. What's the purpose of it? What's it for? What is there a goal? Is it this and that? My brain's like, I want to know more. I want to do more. I want to think more. I want to do this. I don't want to be like, okay, that's it, type of thing, and game over. That's my thing. It's almost like, if I go to heaven, I see God. It's almost like, dude, heaven's cool, but I want to go around the galaxies. I want to see stuff, man. I want to know stuff. I want to experience, that type of thing. I don't know. And maybe if I did that past life, maybe that was me. It's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go back to Earth. I want to do some more stuff. I don't know. That makes sense.
If you're on Earth right now, you chose to come here to help in this battle that we're in. So that's a good thing. That's like you're a warrior and a hero, if you chose to come at this time, because this is it. This is prophesied for. Even in Enoch, goes way back, that there would be a time, and it, the good and the bad. And yes, we have yin and yang and all that, but still, we were abused. Generations and hundreds of years, we've been abused by entities that had no business manipulating others, so to speak. And so our time is coming that we will at least get sovereign, and hopefully in our lifetimes too, totally.
Well, I
Totally
definitely believe the time is now. My mom, I haven't read the book yet. My mom gave me a book, again, being Catholic, called The Queen of the Cosmos, which is the Virgin Mary. And it talks about her visits to these people, and they're about my age, and how it's like, this is going to happen in your lifetime. I haven't read it, but I'm not sure what that means. But the thing is, I've always had that gut feeling like I'm going to see something in my lifetime that's going to change. There's going to be a crux moment that's going that I want to, because that's always been my heart. It's like, I want something to change that's going to wake up this delusion and illusion.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
Because it's like I tell people, it's like, listen, all the houses and streets and money and all stuff, it's fake. It's created by us. It's not true nature. It's not true being. It's not true self. It's not true spiritual awakening. It's all created by us. And then people stress about something that's so man-made that it has no value.
And we destroyed the earth to put that beautiful house down. You know what I mean? Or that parking lot, or that mall, or whatever. Yeah, we did terrible things. And for what? We can't take it with us,
No, absolutely. No, we can't.
So,
Before I know we're getting close to the time here, and then I'll have you stay on afterwards when we finish. My last thought, I'm not sure if I've ever asked you this, but to me, it always goes back to this one person, that this spark that really you expand this flame of consciousness and belief and salvation. Jesus. What can you tell me your thoughts about Jesus? Anything that you can share in your thoughts, with if there's any connection with this going on.
I may think of Jesus a little different than most.
There is no judgment. There's no judgments here. This is why I asked. That's why I asked. Yeah.
I do not believe Jesus was crucified on a cross. I believe he went and lived a life elsewhere and had children, and that was made up and thrown into our biblical knowledge and our Bibles and our whatever, in order for us to maintain the fear factor. And I believe Jesus is the incarnate of Christ Michael, the angel or archangel, whichever you prefer. Okay. I do believe that he was put here for a special reason, certainly. But I do not believe that he was crucified. And as far as the resurrection, we never die. So he never died. And as far as the people saying, when Jesus comes back, Jesus is coming back, when Jesus is coming back. Well, Jesus is back. He is the consciousness. He is the Christ consciousness that we're trying to reach and attain. All of us that are studying and trying to get into that spiritual mastery, so to speak, that is the Christ consciousness. So he is here. It's no waiting for him to come. He's here. We have to go, again, go within, or however, in order to attain that, clean up our acts, look at our traumas, do whatever's necessary as a human. But and I do believe that what I've been reading a lot of, and actually Roseanne Barr has a good video out there, and she talks about how they're trying to eliminate Jesus's bloodline. So he did have children. There are children, there are lines that are created, a bloodline that is connected to the Christ or to Jesus, whichever. And so, even she says that, and she's a pretty wise gal for a character that she is. But
she is witty for sure. She is very witty.
She's that, yeah, but she's very, very wise and very knowledgeable on the Bible and religious matters. As a matter of fact, I think she might have some certificates or degrees or something. She's very wise. But anyway, I believe that horrible, ugly scene of torture and all I believe that was made up for control and put into the Bible, and the good books that we needed were taken out of the Bible, or some that made, would put things together better, taken out. And what is it, 28 of them they took out or something like that?
There was, about an overall, I think it's a combination of both.
All the females, they took all the females out but one. I think it was Ruth. I don't know. Anyway,
There's Ruth. There's Esther, the book of Esther. She's Old Testament.
Right. But there's supposedly Mary wrote a lot. So there's a lot of I don't know.
I got to research that. I didn't know that because
Yes.
I would think that'd be all in the Gnostic gospel. And maybe there is. I missed something. And I know we can go this all because it could be a whole separate conversation rabbit hole. All I know for me is the first Christian, my mindset was actually Mary Magdalene when it came to, we read the gospel of resurrection, believe what you will on that, which I find interesting. The other thing is Paul, who was Saul, who actually killed Christians, who was a Roman Jew, right?
Right.
But all of a sudden his road to Damascus, he converted him so quickly that one day he went to the disciples and said, "Hey, I'm saved." And they all ran. They're like, "Oh, hell no. No, this guy kills us. No, we're out of here, dude. No, screw this guy." They all ran. I thought it was hilarious in the picture. So it's interesting. I see what you're saying for sure. Yeah. That, you create something, and that's a possibility. What's just interesting to me is that you had this one man who supposedly didn't write anything. All of a sudden the world has changed by something that usually if you cut off the head of a snake, it dies. This didn't die. It became a whole new thing. So that's how my mind wraps around it. It's like, because there's so many different other religions, and people can argue, say, well, people still believe that religion and believe that religion, right? And I get that, but there's something about the whole sacrifice element of salvation that I still hold on to. But no, I appreciate your thoughts on that, because I was really curious about your thoughts and how this may tie into. Some people believe that he's a hybrid alien. Some people believe that the Gnostics, that he was the Christ, but the Christ of knowledge.
Well,
right?
he did have a special bloodline, so he may very well have been a hybrid, because like I said, they have been trying to eliminate his bloodline over centuries for many years. So it's, thank God it still exists out there, or they wouldn't keep trying.
No, I totally hear it. I got supposedly 0.04% Jewish in me, maybe. But
I don't know if I do or not. I have to look. I did the 23andMe, but I've forgotten what I am. Mostly Irish, German, English, mostly.
Yeah, mine's Native American, more like Hispanic type of thing, but definitely majority is European, Spaniard, Portuguese type of thing. That's it's fine. My mom went to Portugal, like, "Hey, do I have people look like me there?" Like, "Oh yeah." Like, "Oh sweet." I don't feel like I'm alone. But
I have the Basque, and that's supposed to be over there somewhere, Spain.
Oh, wow.
Basque.
Oh wow.
I'm a Basque person. So, and I have East and West African too. So,
nice. Nice.
so when people say I'm white and they're black and they give me some grief, I tell them I'm more black than you are. I've got East and West. What do you got?
Kathleen, before we end this, anything that you want to say that is important you want to share before we end this?
I just want people to continue to meditate and pray, to unite consciously together for the manifesting of what is about to occur. If we all put our minds towards it, the group consciousness will get it here faster. And we have to be patient with those that can't grasp. We can't be angry. We may have to separate. That's what I'm saying about the separation of the two worlds, that's been talked about. Even Edgar Cayce talked about it. So, that this may very well be what it's about. But we just need to hang on and stay positive, because it's happening. It's finally happening. It's still going to take a couple of years, but years are flying by. So, it's not going to be that long. And I just look forward to the day when we can all sit down and have coffee and talk about all this stuff loud and clear and openly,
where we can be more unified.
Religion aside, because all religions have something good for someone. All religions have saved someone and helped someone in some way. They're just not perfect. They're just man-made, and we need more God-made. Is what we need, and that's the Christ consciousness, which we are headed for and trying to achieve. So we don't have to wait for him to come. He's here. He's here now. He's within, and we need to know that. And we are all a part of God, not God's, but
no. I hear. I'm on the same page.
And we definitely came here to fight this spiritual battle. I mean, we came here willingly. I don't know how many lifetimes, but certainly this one, because this is it. This is the time right now. Whether it's a man-made Armageddon or whether it's a biblical Armageddon, we're here. We're now. We're doing it. So. And to me, it's wonderful. It's like something I've heard all my life, and now I'm actually still alive to see it. So,
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's scary, beautiful.
It is scary, beautiful, but it's going to be okay, because I have met so many ETs. And like I said, I have not met anything that scared me or gave me any kind of fear whatsoever, only love and goodness in some way or another. And I'm very curious. I'm a very curious person, and they're also individual and different. I can't wait to start getting to know them and their ways,
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
That's awesome.
Yes.
No, thanks for sharing that, Kathleen. Stay on when we end this. We'll debrief. Everybody out there, like Kathleen saying, man, no matter what, love each other. Be good to each other. That's what matters. Keep it simple. Don't complicate it. Let's embrace this next journey. Hopefully this new awakening that will give us more answers and more questions in a good way, right? In a way that we can not think about selfish ourselves, but about our other fellow beings, and how we can all unify and how we can all ascend to a greater purpose and a greater cause and a greater discovery, and just enjoy the journey that's laid in front of us and learn from what's behind us. But again, keep our eyes forward. Again, if you want to listen to Bound to Truth, boundtotruth34@gmail.com. You can email me with any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to ask Kathleen, and I'd be glad to share that off on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all those other platforms. I'm not going to repeat, okay, because I'm done repeating them. All right. Anyways, again, God loves you. Christ loves you. Everybody be safe. And again, see you on the other side, or maybe not too soon. Bye.